Hey, it's Evie, welcome to my channel. Today's video is about it is done, the term it is done. You've done all that you can do. How do you then release that and hand it to something else? Can you do that? And what are you doing by doing that? What is happening within you that's then allowing that thing to come to you? Okay, well, I believe, and I've proved this to myself, so I'm saying it from a point of experience, that everything is energy and everything is consciousness. And when we place momentum on something with energy, with our energy, we give it momentum, it is then supercharging it to come into our reality. That's how I've experienced it, and I can only ever talk about how I've experienced it. So, you know, you might experience it slightly different. So anything I say here is purely opinion and from my own experience. So it is done is a feeling, it's an energy, it's a vibration, it's a frequency that we are kicking in with that feeling. And what we need to do is practice getting the feeling of it is done, the feeling of relief. That's what it is. So you can say it is done, or you can say, here you go, universe, I'm handing it to you. Here you go, God, I'm handing it to you. Whatever you believe that this is what you're kind of handing your manifestation over, because there is nothing else that you can do in order to bring it into your life. Because maybe you've been at this for a few months, and you know, if you haven't got it within a few months, the chances are that you need to hand it over. You need to say that it is done. You've done all that you can do. Now, sometimes that's not so easy, especially if you are trying to manifest a specific person into your life. And when I say trying to manifest a specific person, I don't even like myself using that term, because if you try to manifest a specific person, you get into obsession and you keep trying and you keep trying and you get a little bit stuck. Not everybody, some people could just do this for fun and it happens and happy days, it's all great, but a lot of us do get stuck. So I strongly suggest that when you are looking to manifest a specific person into your life, that you don't do too much, that you just do a little bit of feeling work. So you get that feeling of being with them, see how it feels, visualize it if it feels good, only ever if it feels good. Say affirmations if they feel good, everything here if they feel good. Don't set yourself a task. Okay, at 2 o'clock every day, I am going to say my affirmations, I'm going to visualize for 10 minutes or whatever. Don't do any of that, because you will it'll be a chore then and you won't enjoy it and you won't manifest. So I suggest that you find the stuff that works for you. And it is important to do that, even though I don't really do much to manifest now. I have done in the past because I wanted to find what worked for me. And for me, it's just the feeling, and then just that feeling of release when I give it to whatever this is. And I don't know what this is, so important for me to point out, I have no idea, and I don't try to know what it is. And the reason I say that I'm giving it, because I did have a problem with that for a while. I thought, well, no, because it's all coming from me, and if I'm giving it away, then it's not coming from within me, and I'm just contradicting what I believe. And this is what you have to get out of, setting yourself all of these rules to live by. Well, if I believe this, I can't do this, and if I do this, I can't do this. Doesn't make the slightest bit of difference, because I have come to learn that this stuff is crazy, and sometimes it's a bit chaotic, and what works one week might not work the week after. It's really, you know, it's bizarre, and it all depends on your feeling state at the time, in my opinion. So by saying it is done, you are saying, okay, I cannot do anything else. Here you go, greater power, whatever you are. Even if you go with Neville Goddard, and I do really, that we are all God, and we are all making things happen. We are all creating our own reality. So we're not, in effect, how then can we hand it over to something else? Well, I get that. That is a contradiction, and it was for me, but I just don't kind of give that any attention now, that it is a bit of a contradiction to what I feel. So I believe it's all coming from me. I'm making everything happen. Why then would I give it to something else? Why then would I hand over? Because it's a lovely feeling. I really love that feeling of saying, okay, I've done all that I can do now. Here you go. And you get that feeling of, even if it only lasts for a few seconds, you get a feeling of relief. And then you might think, oh, but now I'm filled with fear and doubt again. Doesn't matter. Just do that again. A few days later, when you find yourself obsessing slightly about that manifestation, do that again, say it is done, get the feeling again. And again, the more times you do it, the easier it becomes. This was my thing. This was what I wanted to do. I didn't want to actively manifest things into my life, try to manifest things, because I didn't want to go down a rabbit hole. I really didn't. So I have recommended this book to lots of you guys, and I know you've read it and love Richard's stuff since I started recommending him. It's Richard Dotts, and it's called It Is Done. And it was great. It really resonated with me, and I thought, yeah, that's what I want for myself. I want to be able to put in techniques if I want to, and I did back in the day, and then say it is done, I can't do anything else. So I practiced that, and I have to be honest, it was a practice. It didn't happen overnight. I did have to practice doing that. So, you know, I used to do more techniques than I do now. Not, you know, at first when I started, yeah, way too many, and then I calmed down and I cut it back because I wanted to find what worked for me. And what works for me is feeling it as if it's happened for a few minutes and then saying, okay, it's done. I don't even say it is done now, I just get the feeling of it naturally, it just comes naturally. The thing is with me, my subconscious has been completely reprogrammed, and I haven't forced it, and that's what I don't believe in either, is forcing your subconscious to believe something. I have just loved all of this, loved the magic of it, seen things happen, and as they have happened, my faith has grown, and now I have complete faith that this is what's going on, although I don't know what this is. So naturally, when I want something, I just feel that want for it, because it comes naturally, doesn't it, when we want something? And then I might feel it for a couple of minutes, and then I will get the feeling of release. But all of this just kicks in naturally for me now, which I never thought it would, but it does, and that just happens. Sometimes I look back and I think, wow, when did that start happening? Because I didn't even notice it. It just happened naturally. I didn't, because like I said, I didn't want to work at this stuff. So that is what it is done is. It's a feeling, it's an energy, it's a vibration. And it's words, isn't it, that cause that feeling. I don't even say the words to myself anymore, but I do get the feeling. That's all it is. You can't do anything else, leave it to something else. But I get that that's trusting in something that you might not fully be trusting of yet. So it's practice, and that's what I did. I practiced because I wanted to get good at this. I wanted to be able to do this, and I always say to myself, and I always feel this, so when I've done that, when I've kind of had that intention naturally and you know, then said I can't do anything else now, and had that feeling, then I usually do think to myself, well, there's a really good chance I'm going to get that now. And I never go the whole thing and say there's 100% chance I'm going to get that now, because then you cause expectation, and I don't want to cause expectation. I just want to be pleasantly surprised when it happens. I'm never really surprised. I want to be just to be a lovely experience when it happens, and I don't have that expectation. I'm not looking for it, because I think, well, it may not happen. There is no thing as may not happen really, but it does allow you that release, and everything is about release. If you can release, then you can receive, basically. So that's what it is done is. To me, it's just an energy and a feeling, and some momentum that I give to giving it away, letting go of control, letting go of, so my rational mind, my rational brain is letting go and giving it to something else. Maybe it's giving it to my subconscious. I don't know, and it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Don't get hung up on rules and how you can't feel one thing if you feel another, or you can't think one thing if you think another. Doesn't matter. Tell yourself there are no rules here but the rules that I set for myself, and that's what I've done. So a lot of my stuff, some of you will listen to and think, I don't go with that at all, and I do get that sometimes, that people just don't, you know. I can see from certain videos that, okay, people really resonated with that. Sometimes I get videos, I get a few dislikes, and I think, yeah, I can see why that wouldn't work for some people, because especially if you are set in this, there are rules here. And if you see it that way, then you might think, well, that's what she's saying doesn't fit with what should be. And I get that. But I can only be true to myself here and tell you what I believe and what I've experienced. And that's all that I'm doing. So that's what this is. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to know more about me, if you haven't heard anything from me before, then pop along to my website, eviesparks.co.uk. Yeah, and you can see that I write books and I have a coaching section and all of that stuff, but just pop along there and take a look and find out a bit more about me, rather than me waffling on about it here.